there guys, Erica here from Highway 49 RC. Thank you so much to my patrons and channel members for making this video possible. You guys are the best. Also, thank you so much for the massive support on the last Rocket Wrestler episode. You guys killed it. Thank you so much. You guys have made that my most viewed video in the shortest amount of time. So thank you. Today, more Rocket Wrestler shenanigans are about to ensue. Now, as you remember last time, we decided the A-sized motors weren't quite cutting it. After thinking over the last video, I realized that I could have done a little better. I could have made my ignition timings better, and we could have tried firing all 3 rockets at once. So that's exactly what I've done. Let's take a look. So what I've done to my ignition board here is I've added 2 potentiometers to adjust the firing times of the second 2 banks of rockets. So I'll be able to precisely adjust how much time there is between each bank of rockets firing. I've also added another terminal block here that is connected to the terminal where the white wire is, right here, so that I can put all 3 ignition wires on the same circuit and have all the rockets go off at the same time for more thrust. Before we get to that though, let's get the ignition timings correct. I've already adjusted my potentiometers to roughly what I think is going to be good in terms of timing for each bank. So I'm going to get a set of rockets wired up and we'll give it a shot. All right, we got 6 rockets wired up, ready to go. Let's give this ignition timing setting a test. Rockets are armed. Let's go, firing in 3, 2, 1. So that was really good. The first bank went off perfectly. The second bank went off perfectly as well, right in time. The third bank, however, took a little bit too long to ignite. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the time down a little bit so that it should fire off closer to when the second bank finishes, if that makes sense. This potentiometer right here is the second stage. So let's go ahead and adjust that down a little bit. Let's try it like right about there. Let's see how that works. All right, here we go, guys. Here's our second ignition timing test. Rockets are armed, firing in 3, 2, 1. That was perfect. That was absolutely perfect, guys. I could not have asked for better, so I'm gonna leave those potentiometers right where they are and call that good. Next up, we're going to try setting off all 3 rockets at once. So I need to switch up my wiring on the ignition board and then get this bad boy loaded back up. So unfortunately, I've only got 11 A's left, so that means we're gonna have 1 batch of 5, but hopefully we can get a good ignition on the first run and not have to do it over again. So I got my yellow and red wires switched over from these 2 terminal blocks into this one, and what that accomplishes is attaching the red, white, and yellow wires all together so that they should all go off at the same time when I flip the switch. All right, we are all wired up and ready to go. Got all 6 rockets in there, and this time we've got 3 times the propulsion power. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use my disconnect this time and see if we get any sort of actual propulsion. Let's do it. I'm really excited for this one. Firing in 3, 2, 1. So what happened there is we had 1 bank of rockets not ignite. So I'm going to put a new igniter in there. It worked for me earlier this morning when I tested this with igniters. So I'm gonna put a new igniter in with those rockets and we're gonna give this another shot. But I think we're gonna leave the disconnect out of this equation again because there's just not enough propulsion power to actually keep this car moving. Fuck, guys, I just had a rocket go off on my hand. Ah, it hurts so bad. Oh my god, that freaking hurts. Oh, I'm such an idiot, I didn't turn the switch back off. I'm done with this video for right now. Holy shit. Hey guys, so yeah, this video did not go quite as planned, and I'm sorry about that. We will be revisiting this in the future, but for now, unfortunately, I need to put the Rocket Wrestler down for a little bit. We completed the initial goal of replicating the Mythbusters JATO Rocket Car, and honestly, the burn traumatized me a little bit. It's been 2 weeks. You can see my whole freaking palm got burned. It sucked. I went to the ER. It was unbelievably painful. Do not burn yourself with model rocket motors because the exhaust on them is multiple thousands of degrees. So yeah, that really sucked. It's all better now for the most part. I had to take a week off of work to let it heal up and let the blisters do their thing, which that also really sucked. And honestly, it was just a matter of time before something happened because I put my rockets on a normal switch, right? So there's the potential for me to forget that I left it on and leave it on and go wire up the rocket motors, which is what happened. So what happened is I left the switch on after the last run. I put the igniter in the rocket motor, and as I was putting the igniter wires into the ignition little module on the side of the rocket stack, it instantaneously went off as soon as I connected the second wire, and that's how I got burned. When we revisit this project, I'm going to be putting the rockets on a momentary switch so that I have to physically hold the switch down for the rockets to go off, and then as soon as I take my finger away, the ignition system will be disarmed. I should have done that from the beginning, and I did not. I did not have that much forethought. I was like, oh yeah, sure, we'll just have 2 switches so that I can't accidentally ignite them, but I didn't think of the scenario where I left the switch on to wire up the rockets. Honestly, I probably should have implemented something else, like some way to disconnect the rocket stack board from the ignition board, or I should have just had it be standard procedure that I disconnect the batteries completely. I'm sorry I did not get the burn on camera. I know that's kind of silly, but it would have been great footage. I mean, come on, you guys would have loved that. Maybe not, but I think it would have been great footage. So I'm sorry I didn't get that on camera. And then I'm sorry for not getting one more run in after the burn, because I just had one last run to do and I would have been done. So I kind of shorted you guys on what I was planning to do that day. But Erica, you were laying on the ground about to pass out. Yeah, I know, but I could have toughed it out and done the one last run to get the footage so that I could have a proper video. No, you idiot. So, that's what's going on in my mind. So I'm sorry I didn't get that last launch. Also, I'm sorry for having to put this down for a little while. I want nothing to do with rockets right now. I need to let this kind of wear off a little bit before I come back to this project. In the future, we will revisit it with the larger rockets and a safer ignition system. And to be honest, I don't have any good ideas of how I actually want the larger rockets to be mounted to the car. I don't have any good ideas for how I want the ignition system to work for those larger rockets. And if I don't have a vision of what I want my end product to look like, it's really hard for me to actually start working on something. I've been brainstorming for the last 2 weeks and I have really not come up with much. It's been on my mind a lot. It's going to take a little more time for me to come up with what I actually want to do there. I think that's enough talking from me. Hopefully you guys found this video mildly entertaining. This was quite a wild one, I gotta say. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Rocket Wrestler series. If you did enjoy, please do leave a big fat thumbs up. If this does happen to be the first video that you have seen by me, make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you want to follow up with me outside of YouTube, head over to my Instagram at highway49_RC. If you want to chat with fellow RC and full-scale enthusiasts just like yourselves, head over to my Discord server. And if you want to support me and what I do, consider becoming a channel member or joining my Patreon. Links are in the description, guys. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.